You wake up every morning after 60 and take your usual pills as part of your routine. You feel no pain and no warning signs disturb your day. You enjoy breakfast, talk with family, and live your life normally. But in the background, your heart is dealing with extra strain that could lead to a heart attack without any obvious alert. This is the most dangerous aspect of some risks after 60 because they do not provide clear signals. Millions trust these everyday prescriptions completely. The body changes with age, and the heart loses some of its previous flexibility. I am a doctor who sees this situation regularly. I want to talk to you honestly about 5 groups of these pills that may be affecting your heart. Pay close attention to the information because it can help you make better decisions with your physician and keep your heart healthier longer. The heart after 60 operates with a much narrower safety margin than it did in earlier decades. This shift happens gradually and often goes unnoticed until something tips the balance. You continue your daily routine feeling steady and capable, yet inside the cardiovascular system now responds differently to the same stresses it once handled with ease. I see this pattern every day in my clinic, where patients arrive surprised by events they never expected. The good news is that understanding these changes early opens the door to smarter choices that protect your future without unnecessary worry. Many people picture the heart as an unchanging engine that simply keeps running. In reality, it functions like an intelligent pump that has adapted perfectly over decades of nonstop work. With time, that pump loses some of its natural elasticity. Arteries grow stiffer, and the internal pressure rises more quickly with any extra load. What once felt like a small adjustment now sits right at the edge of what the system can comfortably manage. This is biology, not failure, and recognizing it gives you an advantage most people miss. You may notice subtle shifts that seem unrelated at first. A touch of unexplained fatigue at the end of the day, a brief sensation of fullness in the chest after a meal, or a mild lightheadedness when standing quickly. These are not dramatic alarms, but quiet signals that the heart's reserve is smaller now. Patients often tell me they dismissed these clues because they still felt active and independent. Yet when we review their full picture together, the connection becomes clear and actionable. I want you to picture this clearly because it changes everything about how you view your medications. The same prescriptions that supported you safely in your 40s and 50s can interact differently once the body crosses that threshold. The heart no longer corrects minor imbalances as rapidly. Fluid balance, electrical timing, and blood pressure responses all operate with tighter limits. This does not mean the pills are inherently dangerous. It means the conversation with your doctor needs to evolve along with your age. In my practice, I meet seniors who follow every guideline yet still face unexpected strain. They take their pills exactly as directed, walk regularly, and eat thoughtfully. Still, the heart works harder behind the scenes because its margin for error has narrowed. One patient described waking with a vague sense of heaviness that passed quickly. Another mentioned occasional palpitations only at rest. These stories repeat because the aging cardiovascular system simply has less room to absorb daily influences. Awareness turns those moments into opportunities rather than surprises. This reality creates a helpful contradiction worth embracing. You are not suddenly fragile or broken. Your body has simply entered a new phase that rewards thoughtful attention instead of autopilot routines. The pills you trust were designed for a younger physiology in many cases. Now they deserve a fresh look so they continue to serve you well rather than add silent pressure. This perspective brings clarity and reduces fear at the same time. You gain real power when you stop assuming yesterday's solutions still fit perfectly today. A quick conversation with your physician can adjust doses or explore gentler alternatives that respect the heart's current limits. Many patients feel immediate relief once they understand this single truth. The goal is never to scare you away from treatment, but to make sure every pill works in harmony with your present biology. That harmony is achievable, and it starts with knowledge. Science supports this approach completely. The National Institute on Aging highlights how proactive reviews of long-term medications dramatically improve outcomes after 60. Your heart still possesses remarkable strength and resilience. It simply asks for a partnership that matches its updated needs. When patients apply this insight, they often report steadier energy, fewer vague symptoms, and greater confidence in their daily lives. Think about the freedom that comes from aligning your routine with your current reality instead of an outdated one. You keep the benefits of your medications while removing unnecessary strain. This small shift creates space for longer, more active years ahead. I share these details because I want you to feel equipped rather than overwhelmed. The path forward is practical, hopeful, and completely within reach. One more layer deserves your attention before we move deeper. Everyday habits that once felt protective can quietly add to the load if they are not reevaluated in light of these changes. The same holds true for many widely used prescriptions. The heart's reduced flexibility means even familiar options may require fresh consideration. This insight builds a foundation for the clearer steps we will explore next. You are already taking the most important action simply by listening with an open mind. Yet many assume their trusted daily medications remain as safe as they felt a decade ago, yet the aging heart tells a different story once you cross 60. This creates real frustration for patients who follow every instruction yet still sense something is off. You stick to the routine because the pills were prescribed for good reasons, but the body's responses have quietly shifted. Science from the Mayo Clinic confirms that certain widely used drugs can place extra demands on a cardiovascular system with less reserve. The encouraging part is that spotting these patterns early lets you partner with your physician for adjustments that restore balance without disrupting your life. Let's look at one group that surprises many in my clinic: medications like diclofenac, naproxen, or ketoprofen, often reached for joint pain or muscle aches. You might take them a few times a week thinking they only target inflammation. After 60, these non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs can prompt the body to hold on to sodium and fluid more readily. That extra volume raises internal pressure, forcing the heart to work harder against stiffer arteries. Patients frequently tell me they felt fine until mild ankle swelling or unexplained tiredness appeared after months of occasional use. I remember a gentleman in his late 60s who managed knee discomfort this way for years. He stayed active, never missed a walk, and trusted the pills because they eased his discomfort quickly. One afternoon, he noticed his blood pressure reading higher than usual at home. Tests revealed the connection. The medication's effect on fluid balance had tipped his heart's narrower margin. This is not about panic, but about awareness that lets you discuss alternatives or lower doses with your doctor. Many find gentler options exist that still relieve pain while protecting long-term heart health. The second group often catches people off guard because it is prescribed for sleep, nerve discomfort, or mood support: amitriptyline. You take it in the evening expecting calm rest, yet in an older heart, it can subtly lengthen certain electrical intervals that control rhythm. The result may show as nighttime palpitations, a fluttering sensation, or brief dizziness that passes by morning. Harvard researchers note how these changes become more noticeable after 60 when the heart's natural correction system slows. One woman described waking with a strange skipped beat feeling that left her uneasy even though her days felt normal. She had started the medication for mild nerve pain and never connected the dots until we reviewed her full list together. The key insight here is that the heart still functions well, but now needs us to watch for these quiet electrical shifts. I always remind patients this does not mean the drug is forbidden. It means a conversation about timing, dose, or substitutes can prevent unnecessary strain. That simple step often brings back restful nights and steady energy. Moving to the third group, many reach for decongestants containing pseudoephedrine when a cold or allergy strike. These seem harmless for a day or two of stuffy relief. Inside the body, they constrict blood vessels not just in the nose, but throughout the system, raising pressure and quickening the heartbeat. After 60, this extra push can feel like a sudden jolt to a heart already working with tighter limits. I have seen patients arrive describing a strong pounding that happened only once after taking the pill for a weekend cold. The experience passed quickly, leaving them confused until we traced it back. National Institute on Aging data shows how such temporary spikes matter more when arteries are less flexible. You do not need to fear every cold, but awareness lets you choose saline sprays or other gentler approaches that avoid the hidden load. This pattern repeats because the body now signals us to pause and check rather than push through on autopilot. Each of these examples highlights why continuing old habits without fresh eyes can quietly build risk over time. You follow the rules, yet the heart's changed environment turns familiar choices into something that deserves a second look. The good news is that these effects are manageable once identified. Patients leave my office feeling lighter because they now understand the why behind occasional symptoms and see clear paths to better alignment. This brings us to an important possibility worth considering. A thoughtful, age-specific review of your current medications can uncover these interactions before they accumulate. It is not about stopping anything abruptly, but about creating a customized plan that matches your heart's present needs. Many discover they can keep the benefits they rely on while reducing silent pressure through small, guided changes. That knowledge alone shifts frustration into confidence and opens the way for steadier, more vibrant days ahead. With these patterns clear, the final two groups complete the picture and open the door to real, lasting protection. The hopeful part is that awareness of these patterns lets you move from uncertainty to a clear, practical plan that works with your body instead of against it. Science from the Mayo Clinic confirms that targeted reviews of these specific medications can lower avoidable heart strain dramatically in older adults. You already have the foundation from what we covered earlier, and now the last pieces fall into place with clarity and confidence. Consider the fourth group, Domperidone, often prescribed or used for nausea, reflux, or to help the stomach empty more smoothly. Many seniors rely on it daily, believing it stays strictly in the digestive system. Yet after 60, it can subtly disrupt the heart's internal electrical timing by lengthening certain intervals that keep rhythm steady. This may show up as occasional dizziness when standing, a strange fluttering feeling at night, or brief lightheadedness that passes quickly. Patients often dismiss these as normal aging until we connect the dots in clinic. One 72-year-old woman came in after several unexplained dizzy spells while cooking. She had taken Domperidone for years to manage post-meal discomfort. When we adjusted to a gentler alternative suited for her age, the episodes vanished completely and her energy returned. This example shows how a single guided change can restore balance without losing the digestive relief she needed. The fifth and final group includes common sedating antihistamines such as diphenhydramine, frequently chosen for allergies or to help with occasional sleep. These are available without prescription and feel harmless for short use. In an older body, they introduce anticholinergic effects that can raise heart rate slightly, affect fluid balance, or add extra work to the cardiovascular system already operating with less reserve. You might notice restlessness at night, a faster pulse after taking one, or next-day fatigue that lingers longer than expected. Harvard studies highlight how these effects matter more after 60 when the heart corrects imbalances more slowly. I remember a 65-year-old man who started using them for seasonal allergies and soon felt vague chest pressure in the evenings. The connection became clear during review, and switching to a non-sedating option plus simple nasal rinses eliminated the discomfort entirely. He now enjoys allergy season without the hidden load on his heart. With all 5 groups now fully visible, the path forward becomes exciting rather than worrying. The main solution is a straightforward, doctor-guided 5-pill heart protection protocol designed exactly for bodies after 60. This is not about stopping medications on your own, but about creating a personalized partnership that keeps every benefit while removing unnecessary strain. The protocol works because it directly addresses the reduced margin we discussed from the beginning, turning potential risks into managed elements through regular, thoughtful attention. Start the protocol by preparing a complete, honest list of every prescription, over-the-counter item, and supplement you take daily or occasionally. Bring it to a dedicated appointment with your primary doctor or, even better, a geriatric cardiologist who understands age-related changes. During that visit, review each medication against your current heart status and ask specific questions. Does this still serve me best at my age? Is a lower dose or different option available that achieves the same result with less cardiovascular impact? Many times the answer leads to small tweaks that make a big difference without disrupting your routine. The next step involves simple home monitoring that empowers you every day. Check your blood pressure and resting pulse at the same times each morning and evening using a reliable device. Keep a short symptom journal noting any new sensations such as mild swelling, palpitations, unusual tiredness, or dizziness. Share this log at follow-ups so your doctor sees the full pattern. This active involvement prevents silent buildup and gives you early clues that something may need adjustment. National Institute on Aging research shows that consistent self-monitoring combined with professional review significantly reduces unexpected heart events in seniors. Schedule built-in reevaluations every 6 to 12 months or sooner if your health changes or a new medication is added. Your body continues evolving, so the plan should evolve with it. This rhythm of review keeps everything aligned and prevents autopilot habits from quietly adding pressure over time. Patients who follow these steps often tell me they feel lighter, more in control, and surprisingly relieved once the protocol is in motion. Look at the real transformations that happen when people apply this protocol. A 68-year-old gentleman who had occasional chest tightness from 2 of the groups we covered saw his symptoms disappear within weeks after safe swaps and monitoring. He now walks farther each day and sleeps more soundly. Another woman in her late 70s eliminated nighttime palpitations simply by updating one digestion medication and choosing better allergy support. She describes waking up refreshed instead of worried and enjoying time with grandchildren without background concern. These stories repeat because the protocol respects biology while honoring the treatments you still need. After 60 No Pill is truly neutral. Everyone interacts with your heart in ways that only awareness can protect, and the silent risks may be closer than you think.